Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan and this channel is dedicated to skincare for skin of colour. As you know, I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of colour. Now, today's video is actually quite personal to me because it is basically my issue, which is my flaky, itchy scalp, curly hair routine without heat. I don't really... Although today I have blow dried my hair, I actually haven't blow dried my hair for a whole year because I'm trying to not damage my hair, especially as I age. Unfortunately, hair will fall out as we age and we want to do the least amount to it that we can. In fact, everything that we do should really be from a healthy perspective. So, you know, for me in my whole 20s, my hair was basically blonde. I think from 16 years old till about 30 years old, I had blonde hair. And now I think, oh my goodness, I would not go near peroxide if you paid me. So I'm now 37 and we have different ideas of what we need our hair to be. So if you have itchy, flaky scalp and this is something that really bothers you, I hope this video helps you because it, you know, everything I do massively has helped me and I really don't suffer with it at all now. If that sounds good to you, give me a thumbs up. Let's dive right in. It actually just occurred to me, do you want me to make you a video on how to grow healthy, thick hair? Because there are some basic mistakes that I'm seeing being made actually with hair growth. And if you want me to do a full video on that, I'm more than happy to. Just write down below. Don't forget to do a video, Dr. V, on hair growth, and I will make that for you. Right, so what are the common issues of a flaky scalp? So there are a few. The first one would probably be people not rinsing shampoo out of their hair, and that residue can build up and lead to irritation. So that isn't my issue, but it can be. So make sure you really do wash your shampoo out of your hair. And it's one of those things that are really hard to know when the shampoo has left your hair completely. But what I tend to do is I tend to wring my hair out in the shower and I'd wait for the suds to the point where I don't have any suds anymore. Or any bubbles when I do that, and I know then that I've got no more surfactant in my hair. The second issue is having contact dermatitis, so an allergy to something that you're putting on your scalp, which is why I tend to avoid any fragrance in any of my shampoos or conditioners. Conditioner generally anyway, you don't put on the scalp, you put it on the rest of the hair because you're trying to smooth the hair cuticle. It doesn't need to go on your scalp because it tends to make your hair heavy and you lose volume, which is not something that women want. And so I'm not so worried about the conditioner, to be honest. It's more your shampoo which you're rubbing into your scalp. You have to make sure that it has no fragrance in it, because with wash off products, the percentage of fragrance is allowed to be higher than leave on products. And that's why with your body washes, with your shampoo, it smells a lot stronger than your creams do. You know, the whatever fruity flavor they've got going on in that shampoo bottle is going to be stronger than in any of your leave-on creams. And that is a major source of concern because 1% of the population are allergic to fragrance. And imagine, you know, 1 million of you are using fragrance shampoo, tens of thousands of you are going to have irritation to it. And that can be seen as flaky, itchy scalp, which is really something I want us to all steer clear of. Now, my issue is sensitivity to a yeast called MALASSEZIA. So we all have MALASSEZIA on our scalp, but some people are more sensitive to it and some people have excess growth of it, and that leads to excess cell growth. And that then leads to irritation and flaky scalp. So the problem for me with a flaky scalp was that when I would wear a black jumper, you would see my white flakes, and my husband would, instead of kissing me, he'd come and just start wiping the flakes away, which is just not what any wife wants. So that was my number one problem. And my number two problem was that it was leading to brittle hair. And so my hair was damaged and not growing at the rate I want it to grow at, and just not looking healthy, which is, you know, again, something that we all want. So taking care of your scalp gives you healthy hair. I can't stress that enough. The mistake I see people making is that they'll put, leave-on conditioners, etc., which is great. Masks and conditioners are great for smoothing the cuticle, but they're not going to help with growth of hair because it's dead. At this point, this is dead keratin. We have to start at the root. That's where hair is basically manufactured. So evidence has come out that when you have an inflamed scalp or a flaky scalp, you have dry, brittle hair that's easily damaged and that isn't really able to grow past a certain length. And just generally, it starts to look scraggly and, you don't feel great in your hair. So really taking care of your scalp is absolutely fundamental. It's something we don't learn early on. It's something that we learn later when we've already got the problem. I don't want that for our children. I want our children to have healthy scalps their whole lives so they don't have that itchiness and they just don't go through the same problems that we go through. That's the aim. So I actually have quite severe seborrheic dermatitis or dandruff, which can really be irritating. And so I use DIPROSALIC, which is a steroid ointment that's prescription only. So if yours is that severe, then this is something that your doctor may well prescribe to you. And that's got steroids in it, so it's got your betamethasone, but it's also got salicylic acid in it, which is great because it softens up the top layer of skin and so allows the steroid to enter. Because otherwise, don't forget, you've got mounds of excess skin that you've got extra growth of skin cells, and so how are you supposed to get in to reduce inflammation? You need the salicylic acid to soften those skin cells. So it's a fantastic ointment for people who have it quite severe and really need it. So then the next one is so what I do is I'd use that once a week, and I'd use it's sort of everywhere because it's recurrent, but it's also moving, meaning you might have one itchy area at one point and then another itchy area at another point. So you really do want to get into the whole scalp because you want to try and reduce any future inflammation. And don't forget, it's recurrent. The second I stop, it will come back again, and I know that. So it's refractory, it doesn't end. You have to be on top of it all the time. So what I would do is on a non-filming day, I would basically put it onto my fingertips and I'd massage it into my scalp. I leave it on for about 5 hours. So I really make sure it's got time for it to work. I don't wear it overnight because I don't want it coming off my pillow, and then it'll be on my face and then I'll get acne, and nobody needs that. So I do it during the day, drop my kids to school, then do it. Don't look sexy at all that day, my poor husband. And then 5 hours later, I use my ketoconazole shampoo, 2%. And it's medicated, but it's non-fragranced. So I love ketoconazole shampoo for that reason. There are very, very few shampoos on the market that don't have fragrance. And ketoconazole, it tends to not have fragrance, and because it's for inflamed scalps. So it wouldn't make sense to put fragrance in. So I use that, and again I massage it into my scalp because don't forget the ointment is quite thick and can leave your hair feeling quite greasy. So I massage that into my scalp about 30 minutes before I have a shower, and again it's got time for it to absorb into my scalp. And then I wash it off in the shower. Then I put conditioner just on the strands of hair. And when I come out, because I've got really curly hair, I tend to put in a leave-in conditioner on top. So the leave-in conditioner I use is Cantu. It does have fragrance in it, but I don't put it on my scalp. I put it only on my hair. And then what I do is I use Catwalk by Tiggy. This one, which is brilliant. It's like a gum, and I basically put my hair upside down and I scrunch it when it's still wet, because I don't want to use any heat. And it's really strange. My whole life I've spent straightening my hair, and now I feel like at this age I'm suddenly loving my curly hair, and I don't know why I didn't like it before. It was all about the straight hair before. But this way it means that I'm loving the hairstyle, but also I'm not putting any heat on my hair. And as we age, your hair is already going to thin. No matter what you do, it's already going to thin. You can take all the supplements that you want and use the products that you need, but you know, it's just the direction that this is what happens with age. So try and minimize heat, try and minimize dyeing your hair. And so what I do is I put it on the ends and I scrunch it upwards, scrunch it like near my scalp as well. And sometimes I'll even pin it up a little bit just to not allow the weight of it to come down, so that I have some curls on my scalp as well, which I really like. Don't forget, I'm in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video, so please ask me your questions below. Don't forget to download your free guide for skincare for skin of colour. The link is below. Don't forget all my tyrosinase inhibiting kits for skin of colour, right from the facial pigmentation kit right through to dark circles kit, lip pigmentation kit, are all in the link below. Skincare by Dr. V. You can follow me on Instagram at the Hyperpigmentation Clinic, Skincare by Dr. V as well, and on TikTok. Wow, that's a lot to say, isn't it? See you next time.